How are your stocks doing? Some local investment experts are taking part in the Business Courier's annual stock picking contest. Each contestant picks a portfolio of up to 5 stocks at the beginning of the year. At least one has to be local. The results are based on 2015 total return, including dividends, for the entire portfolio. So what are they picking? Business Courier reporter Steve Watkins is coordinating the contest and joins editor Rob Dahlmeyer in the studio to give us some of the insight. Guys?
Thanks, Peg, and Steve, thanks for being here.
Sure.
So what were the most popular picks this year?
Yeah, there were 5 that were really popular among the contestants. Locally, Meridian Bioscience is one of them. And then we've got Kroger, Procter & Gamble, General Cable, and Seco Environmental. Those were all among the most common picks.
So you can see there that those are the number of people that picked those. So what are some of the themes that that viewers can take away from these picks that you saw?
There were a few. One is there's a big divergence in size. Kroger's one of the biggest companies. That and Procter & Gamble are the 2 biggest locally. They're on the list. And then you've got small companies, really small ones, like Meridian Bioscience. So people aren't necessarily going one way or the other, but some of the extremes seem to be where they think the gains are. Also, it's interesting to look at how they did last year. So Kroger was one of the best stocks, not only in locally, but in the country. They were the 10th best on the S&P 500. On the flip side, Meridian Bioscience was one of our worst local stocks last year, and so was General Cable. People are looking for those to rebound this year.
I mean, those would be amazing stories for any of those companies.
Yeah,
Kroger
absolutely.
for keeping up the momentum, and the other ones for turning it around.
Right.
Now, the Courier gets into this too.
Yes, we do.
We have giant brains, so we like to get into this. Walk us through a little bit about how the Courier has done and how that works.
Sure. Yeah. Well, the Courier's picks, not to toot our own horn, but the Courier's picks have done really well over the life of the contest. It's been going on for 12 years now. We've won the contest twice. We've beaten the market 8 years. You can see the results up there, and we've landed in the top 10 among usually 20 to 25 people 10 of those 12 years. So we have done real well.
So what's the secret sauce here?
Well, it unfortunately doesn't have a lot to do with our brains necessarily. We have a list of different criteria that we use. I basically plug it into the system, and it's a mix of value and growth criteria, and we put in all the local stocks in there. The ones that do best against their competitors are the ones that we pick, and stocks like P&G and Meridian Bioscience were among the picks this year. Macy's is another one.
So one more question for you. I mean, how do the professionals tend to do in this contest? I mean, it's a fun contest, it's a cool contest, but at the same time, they're sort of putting themselves out there. You know, how do they tend to do?
Yeah, and there are some limitations. They can't trade through the year, so most of them pick according to how they really invest, and they're all over the map, but they tend to do pretty well. Last year, the winner, Mike Simon of AlphaMark, his portfolio gained 30%. The market was up 11. A few people will take big risks because it's a fun contest, and they might be down 10 or 15%, but most of them do pretty well. I'd say on average, well more than half tend to beat the market. So they do well. It's worth looking into what they're picking. You get a sense of their ideas.
Well, you write about this throughout the year. You give updates. It's really cool to follow, and it's very relevant, and you can actually make money potentially.
Absolutely.
Thanks
it's worth
for being
a shot.
here. Yeah, thanks for being here, Steve.
Thanks.
Back to you, Peg.
All right, thanks, Rob and Steve. Good insight that just might pay off.